Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Content Creators Connect. Here we're all about encouraging the 3 C's: connecting with others via video, content development that builds your personal brand, and creators sharing their experiences despite their distance.
My friends, the C3 team member that is leading this evening is our very own Kevin, also known as Classic Mac. To his online community, he is a strong advocate in finding low cost tools to help you in your live streaming journey. Kevin, with the worldwide online community presenting so many new opportunities for people to share ideas and work together, what things do we need to consider when collaborating with one another? Share with the crowd if you can.
Sure, I'd love to. I'm so excited to be bringing up this topic because us as a C3 team are in different time zones. And when I was thinking of time zones, I was thinking, hey, I'm time traveling. So I got to wear my goggles today just so I can be in character for this. So, super excited to share some of the tips and also sharing some tools that are out there. And keeping with the theme of low cost tools, I am keeping it to a free type of membership and enrollment for this. So I'll be discussing them in just a little bit. But wanting to find out from you, Dory, have you worked with people across different time zones besides the C3 team here? And what kind of things do you keep in mind when you're dealing with people in different time zones?
Well, obviously, we all work together, and I gotta tell you, sometimes I really ride the struggle bus in keeping track of what time is it around the world for everyone. So, yes, I have worked with people in other time zones in the past, and I will tell you that my best course of action is I have an app on my phone called Time Buddy, and I always check it to make sure that I am within like a decent time frame to message someone, because not everyone ignores a notification when it comes up, and I certainly do not want to be someone who is messaging at midnight and potentially bothering someone as they're trying to get in their Z's. So I am very mindful of that. But I look forward, Kevin, to hearing more about your tips and talking a little bit about collaborating across time zones. Manny, how about you? Besides us, what other kind of time zone hopping do you do?
It's interesting that number one, that you picked this topic, Kevin. Number two, you're getting me to think about this. Like, there was a time where I had to be very conscious about the time zone. Like if you're cold calling. And and whenever I was cold calling, I had to be conscious of the time zone. And that helped me even know how to read them right away. Like I don't have to think too much, knowing like, oh wait, except sometimes in Idaho you might have two different time zones in one state, right? Or in Indiana it might not be like that anymore. But when it comes to that, I don't really have to think about it so much, other than when we are collaborating together, because all of my clients that I coach with are local, or if we're going to be doing anything virtually, it's generally the same time zone. So outside of the three of us anymore, I don't have to. But this project that we're doing together is very important. So it's key. Like when I'm thinking, oh man, it's my time here. It's an hour later for Dory and Kevin. I still don't even know what time it is for you. I'm so sorry. What is it?
It's an hour earlier.
Earlier, so 6:08 for you.
Yep.
That's not a huge difference compared to like say Hawaii. So that's kind of where my stuff is with when it comes to my aspect of the time zones and everything there. So my friends, if this is the type of content that you'd like to see more of, please consider hitting that subscribe button and that like button as well, along with that notification bell, because that way you will get notified anytime we go live or we break one of our content into shorts, which by the way, I need to catch up on that. My friends, I am so excited to bring you this great content that I am sure Kevin's going to bring, because if we know one thing about Kevin, he takes this very serious and he is all about bringing value to the audience. My friend Kevin, take it away, buddy.
Why, thank you for that wonderful introduction, Manny. I do appreciate it. And yeah, today we're going to be talking about some different strategies for some effective collaboration across time zones. Collaborating with people in different time zones can be challenging, but with the right mindset and the right strategies, it's possible to make it a productive and efficient process. So let's just jump on into presentation here. There we go. And back to my notes. So to achieve success, you need to establish clear communication channels with the people that you're collaborating with. Set some expectations for response times and the different working styles. Set up some regular check-ins as well. And I'll be going through each of these in a little more detail in the subsequent slides here. And then also embrace asynchronous communication as well. And also, I'm going to be sharing some tools and apps that you can use to help with planning and getting yourself organized. Tip number 1, establishing clear communication channels. So when you're collaborating for the first time, you sort of need to set some ground rules out for how you're going to be working with each other. Don't assume that the methods that you use are the same for everyone. For instance, you may be using a certain app that somebody else may not have heard of. For instance, you may be using Discord as a way to communicate with a bunch of other people, but you start collaborating with somebody new, they don't even have Discord installed. So you kind of have to find that happy medium of a way to communicate with each other and find out what are the best methods for you to communicate, whether it be email, a messaging app, or productivity software. There's project management software out there that is so very easy to use. So, and I'm actually going to be going through a few samples of these in just a little bit. And then also consider scheduling regular virtual meetings just to keep everybody on the same page as well. Tip number 2, definitely you need to set expectations for response times. Discuss with everybody in your team what is an appropriate response time. Like, are you looking for real-time feedback? If that is the case, maybe you actually need to get a meeting together so that you can all get together from the different time zones and provide that immediate real-time feedback. But if you're okay with replying within the same day, perhaps a message, whether it be an email, text, or some sort of messaging app, that could be helpful in providing some feedback. And then also be clear about the urgency of each of these tasks, because if you're working towards a specific deadline, like if you have a major project coming up and you need to know that these things are getting done, then yeah, you need to let the people know on your team how urgent that your request is as part of you finishing your part of the project. For us at C3, we are committing to have our descriptions and thumbnails ready to post one day before our stream. Sometimes it's kind of close-ish to getting, yes, Dory, a little bit close-ish to getting it posted on time, but we try to share it within our group at least a little bit earlier so that we can also provide some feedback as well on the thumbnails, the titles, and just making sure it's the proper eye grabbing, eye yeah, attention grabbing title so that will get you to watch our video. Tip number 3, setting up regular check-ins. So agree on a regular check-in schedule that works for everyone, whether it be if you're meeting on a weekly basis or if you're just meeting on a monthly basis to catch up and find out what's going on with your project or how you're progressing. Regular check-ins are definitely necessary. Nothing's more stressful than 1 hour before going live, someone's made a decision that's radically different than what you had originally talked about. And then that throws you into a sort of a state of panic of trying to get everything together for that stream. And said at the beginning, embrace asynchronous, meaning not real-time communication. So using project management tools to track progress and communicate these updates. So you can share documents, use other collaboration tools to allow for this communication at different times of the day. So embracing this type of communication as part of your sort of ground rules needs to be set out at the outset. So if everyone can embrace it, then everyone will have access to the information in one location and access it and update it as required. So yeah, once again, set clear expectations for response times and availability. And then this is the fun part. All the tools that you have your access to do this. This is going to be fun. I have a few slides here with all different types of tools to actually go through. And it's just sort of mind-blowing where we are now compared to like even like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, of all the different tools that are available and at our fingertips to be able to use to help keep us organized and move forward with our projects. So scheduling tools like using a Google Calendar allows you to schedule events, set reminders, and share your schedule with others. Calendly, an easy-to-use scheduling tool that lets you create and share your availability with others, allowing them to schedule meetings with you automatically. Doodle is also another scheduling tool that allows you to find the best time to meet with others, even if they're in different time zones. Microsoft Bookings. It's an online scheduling tool that allows you to create appointments and manage your calendar and set reminders to attendees. It integrates seamlessly with other Microsoft tools like Outlook and Teams. And then one I haven't tried out yet, but I'm very curious about. It's called Acuity Scheduling. And it's a scheduling tool that enables you to book appointments, accept payments, and send reminders to clients or team members. So if you are working with clients, maybe that's something that you can set up with them if they are paying you for your time or services. And then this is not by, I have to put the disclaimer out there, this is not a exhaustive list. This is just a sample of all the availability of communication apps that are out there. There's so many different types of communication apps. So choose one that all parties use and are familiar with. Some example of communication tools are like Facebook Messenger, Discord, Slack, Microsoft Teams, WhatsApp, iMessage. Some people even use Snapchat. There's just so many different types of communication tools, and I'll come to both of you, Dory and Manny, to find out what tools that you find are effective. So And also, we're not sponsored by any of these. These are just tools that I've found that I've used and have been very effective in the different people that I've had to work together with, that they are familiar with them. And using something that's familiar with your client is great, because it's less learning or less teaching that you have to do to them or for them so that you're able to communicate. And if you're collaborating with another YouTuber or another online person, I'm sure they have at least one app that, if not email, that is similar to what you are used to using as well. So, in addition to scheduling tools, project management tools can also be incredibly helpful, for global teams, for instance. These tools can help everyone keep on the same page, even when they're in different time zones. And by having a centralized location for the project information, the teams can stay organized and ensure that everyone's on track. And here's just a quick sample of a few of the project online tools that are available. Monday.com. It's a cloud based project management platform that allows you to plan, track, and manage their work in one central location. And the key thing about these being online, you can use any device to be able to access that information. So it is at your fingertips at any time. Asana is another popular project management tool, for communication and file sharing as well. Trello is a visual project management tool that allows teams to organize and tasks into boards and lists. So, once again, it's working together with the people you're collaborating with. What kind of style do they have? Are they more visual, or do they just need a list of items that they are responsible for? So, working together, you'll be able to determine that. Rike is a free project management tool that allows teams to collaborate and manage projects in real time. And similar to other project management tools, um, they include task lists, calendars, and file sharing. And then one we are very familiar with is Notion. It's a comprehensive productivity and collaborative tool that combines the functionality of a wiki, note taking app, task management tool, and a database all together in one platform. So, and once you are able to create your Notion book, you can share that out to other members of your team to be able to collaborate in. So that's just how diverse things have gotten over the years as technology has moved rapidly to be able to provide these types of things to everybody to make their life easier when collaborating with others. And then, of course, now that you actually are collaborating and working together, every once in a while, like we were saying, you have to meet with one another. So, what's a better way than having a shared calendar? Um, a lot of people have their free Google Calendar, so that's how they actually do a lot of their business. So if you're able to create a calendar for this specific project, people can add it in as a another calendar so that they get the notifications as well. Outlook is the exact same, another Microsoft product that provides those task reminders and appointment reminders as well. Trello, Zoho, and TeamUp. So Trello is it's a project management tool as well, but it also offers a calendar feature. You can create a calendar view of the tasks and deadlines and set reminders and share calendars with others as well. Zoho is a free calendar app that offers a range of features such as like shared calendars, once again, task lists and reminders. Then TeamUp is a free shared calendar it's an app that allows users to create multiple calendars, schedule events, and share calendars with others via a unique calendar link. And then, as you had mentioned earlier, Dory, time zone converters. If you're dealing with people halfway around the world, are you, like you said, are you going to be sending a notification that is going to disturb them as they're just trying to fall asleep? Or are they in the middle of the night? Or is it the next day when it is appropriate to send them a message? So they can help ensure that everyone knows, uh, or no, tools like these can help ensure that everyone knows what time it is in different parts of the world and help avoid confusion about scheduling or virtual meetings. So here is a sample, once again, World Time Buddy, time zone converter, time zone ninja, every time zone, time and date. And if you just go on to a browser and then type in time zone converter, there's so many that are out there that you can just enter your time zone and what time zone you're trying to find, um, the current time, and it will do the conversion for you right then and there. So, so collaborating with people in these different time zones definitely. Let's just move over here. So, collaborating with people in different time zones can be challenging, but with these strategies and tips and these tools, it can make it a productive and efficient process. But by establishing these clear communication channels and setting the expectations, setting regular check-ins, it it will help to make it a more productive and efficient project. So, before we switch on over to Manny, I'm going to throw the question out to you. What tools do you use when you're working with people across different time zones? I There's so many unique tools out there, and I'm very curious to find out what my colleagues here use, whether some they use the ones that I've mentioned, or if they have something else that they're keeping a hidden secret that may be just a gem of a way or a method to keep up with people in different time zones. So I'm very curious to hear what my colleagues have to say. So I'm going to jump over to Manny and find out what tools do you use from this list, and do you use anything different in terms of trying to schedule with your clients?
I love it. I want to say a lot of what you shared, I'm very familiar with, or I use it. I guess I should say if I'm using it, I'm very familiar, or I'm familiar with it or of the product. But some of my favorites that you mentioned, Google Calendar. So many things can sync to Google Calendar and adjust the time zone. I'm a sports fan. I am originally from New York, so I follow the Mets, I follow the Knicks, right? They're in different time zones. But I have it so that I get notifications on my time zone when the game's about to start. So I love that I can do that with Google Calendar and being able to connect it. And even as a family, planning app, that's another value added, where it's just scheduling things. And you mentioned Calendly. I use Calendly a lot as a coach, as a social media coach, scheduling appointments, times to meet. I've used Calendly and even just a free version for years. And again, just the free version, it offers so much value. One of my most, one of my favorite apps that I use all the time that you mentioned was for collaboration purposes. And I think you guys have even noticed this with connecting with me as opposed to say Discord. Facebook Messenger is definitely even over text message a lot. It seems like because things what I have to be careful for is maybe I'm driving, something may pop up but I can't pay attention at that moment. and I got to be careful that I don't mark it, because then I'm like, oh, crud, I forgot to answer. And that happens a lot. That's where I think, being aware that that can happen and being careful can help with collaboration, because honestly, Kevin, a lot of what you taught was a reminder of how much better I have to be as a collaborator with us three, in making sure things are done in a timely manner to respect everyone's scheduling. So great education. And when you're working with other people, it's not about your schedule, right? It's about everyone's schedule. And the tools that you named, oh my gosh, like anyone who is getting into collaborating with a group, especially Canada, East Coast, Central Coast, Midwest, like you really hit on stuff. And one of the things that I've learned a lot out of our collaboration and using this tool a lot, Notion. Like I have grown to really like how Notion flows and the way we can create our show flow in Notion. So I've learned a lot just in art using that as a collaboration tool for us. And something that I don't think that you mentioned that can help with the different time zone is, a lot of people use Gmail. And sometimes you maybe don't want to send an email in the middle of the night that might get lost in the mail. And what's great about Gmail is that you can actually schedule the email to go out at a particular time. That way, it's there when they need it and it's not getting caught in a bunch of crap, right? We wake up with a lot of email and it's like, I'm not going to deal with that yet, right? What's it doing? It's piling on. So if I want something to get to Canada at a particular time, then I might send it at a particular time, less, more chances of it being open. So great content. I think that anyone can use this little masterclass that you created here to, like, hey, we're about to dive into a collaboration of effort, collaboration between us. This is great content. Great job. Dory, what about you? What about you? What did you find of value that you use on a regular basis?
Well, I tell you, I don't know if it's the OCD in me, the type A, but I tend to try to be a very organized person. So Kevin was completely speaking my love language when he was talking about things like Google Calendar and everything. So as far as collaboration tools, so I'll address those first. Some of my favorite ways to reach out and connect with people. Facebook Messenger, like you, Manny. I'm born and raised on Facebook. Some of these other social media platforms, I don't love them. I use them. I don't love them. Facebook is where my heart is. Um, I also love Discord. Discord is a game changer for me. I was introduced to it through my D&D community, but because it was really originally created for gamers and things. But I love Discord as a collaboration tool. And honestly, iMessage and I'm going to say this out loud, and I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud, Snapchat.
I can't believe you said it either.
I can't believe I said it. Okay, but there's a very specific demographic that I have to collaborate with on Snapchat because they refuse to collaborate with me any other way.
On Facebook.
Um, so as far as project management, I mean, you guys know how much of a giant fan I am of Notion. I absolutely love it. But there is a content manager calendar inside Canva that I have been trying to kind of plot out ideas for projects I want to take on in the coming weeks when school lets out for summer. So I've really been leaning into using Canva more and more and more. I'm sure, Kevin, that just makes your heart smile because I know you are a giant fan of Canva too.
Yep.
Now here's one that's different. So I use the Notes app on my iPhone a lot. And one of the things I love about that is that I can kind of create and organize ideas inside the notes. So I can, in essence, create an album, put all my notes and ideas in one location. And then if it's something that I want to move into the collaboration stage with somebody, I just share the note out with them. Now, of course, mind you, they have to be an iOS user, but um, it's so easy to collaborate and you can update that note real time. And I just absolutely love that. And then lastly, this is, I don't know if this necessarily falls into like collaboration tool, but there's an app called Bonjoro. Bonjoro, I think is, yes, Bonjoro is how you pronounce it. And it lets you send little quick video messages to either audience members, clients, friends, a team that you're collaborating with. There's a free version. Now, the free version's limited, obviously, but I think that's so cool. You know, I mean, you can record a video on Facebook Messenger, you can do all that, but this is, if you want to send the same message to, say, like 10 people on a team, you can use a third party app like that and it'll push it right out to everybody. And the beautiful thing is, they can also send you a response to the video that you put out. So it's pretty cool. I saw it in action. People were using it as a way to send like a personal thank you for people who were either engaging with or liking, subscribing, things like that. So I know, Manny, you've talked about that in the past with your YouTube videos. So this, this might be an option to look at. It's
Yeah,
not real
it sounds
time.
like it.
Yeah, it's asynchronous. It's not real time, but I kind of love the idea of it. Not gonna lie, because it's quick and it's your face, it's your voice versus sending a text message. But I mean, I don't know, Kevin. I was frantically typing. I was putting everything into the chat so that I didn't lose any of it. I've tried. I have not tried Monday.com. I have tried Trello, and I have tried Asana briefly. Um, but I just feel like there's other tools that are just more in line with how I work. But that
Yeah,
app on
once you
my phone, man, knowing what time it is for you and Manny, that's the key to success for me.
and like I was saying, you have to know who you're working with and what tools work together well with them. So it's not what you prefer, it's what we prefer as a group.
100%. 100%. Um, Manny, yeah, you made no mention of Calendly and Google Calendar in the comments here too. I'm just scanning back. I mean, Google Calendar is, come on, it's insanely good. You can color code your calendar. I mean, if you want to go down that road, you can spend hours and hours of your life. Um,
Especially Google Calendar and Gmail, it integrates into so many third-party apps now anyway.
yep,
So it is able to work almost seamlessly to be able to provide you notifications of tasks, reminders, or meetings that are coming up, or when you're going live as well.
and the other thing I wanted to point out, Kevin, when you mentioned about the time zone converters, when I talked about self care, one of the things we talked about was that separation of work and personal life time. And we, as content creators, or when Manny was doing cold calling and things, we also have to be mindful of people's time. So it's not only us taking care of and protecting our time, it's us being mindful of other people's time as well. And so that time zone converter, like, hey, I know that my person puts their phone away at 8 o'clock and it is family time from 8 until bedtime. Like, I'm not messaging them because I don't want to give them a reason to have to look at their phone. So you have to be mindful of those things. And I think you made a great point of that. So excellent job tonight. I absolutely love the content.
Awesome.
Yes,
Any
for sure.
any final words, guys, before we send it on over?
Great job, Kevin.
Good job, Kevin.
Thank you.
Right. And with that,
My friends, if you enjoy content like this and you're finding it useful, we would love it if you'd like and subscribe to our channel. And sharing our content is also a great way to share the love. And you can visit our website to get all the information on how you can, excuse me, how you can connect with us. And you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And right there you see Linktree/content creators connect. See you next week.
And if this is a type of like man you're saying that you like, or you have an idea of your own, or something that you want us to dive into, definitely let us know down in the comments about the topic that you would like us to do a deep dive into. So now send it on over to Dory to wrap it up.
Big dramatic pause. Thank you for joining Content Creators Connect, aka C3 tonight, as Kevin discussed collaboration across the time zones. We return next Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, where Dory, me, will be building on my self-care series with a detailed look at customizing your notifications for lowering stress and increasing productivity. We will be multicasting live to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, so be sure to join us. Until then, we urge you to identify and lean into your 3 C's. Start today creating unique content that builds connections and breaks down those barriers. See you next week.
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.